board. The Q&A box is open for you to ask questions. All participants are muted during the presentation just to allow for continuity of presenting the material of the new platform so you can learn as much as possible about it here today. I'm going to start with general navigation, and then I'm going to move on to a little focus at the end on ACH and then user management, and we'll conclude with Q&A. So this is BankUnited Lynx. This is the new front end. I think some of you have seen teaser squares on our current platform. What I want you to know is that your sign-on, so your customer ID, user ID, and password will remain the same when you migrate. So your credentials will be the same. It remains a 3-point login. Once you sign in, what I have in front of me here, the home page, is equal to the dashboard that you have with us today. Some of the elements of the home page are mirrors of what you see on the dashboard, and there's some new features, functionality that you can do within the workspace. So what you'll see here in the top left is the message of the day, welcoming you to BankUnited Lynx. Over here on the right are my action items, so bulletins to read in this case, and I have payment templates to approve. If you have other services that require immediate or top action by you, they'll be up here in your action items, such as positive pay items to decision or other payments to approve. As we move down on this page, this is a new feature called the Smart Charts. The Smart Charts give you the available balance across your deposit accounts for 5 business days and your month-to-date credit to debit distribution. The next section here should look familiar. This is the financial overview. We have that today on the current either online treasury management or BU Express. One of the things I want to let you know is today we have a restriction around the number of accounts that appear on your financial overview or your dashboard. In BankUnited Lynx, that is unlimited. We can support as many accounts as you have online in this view. A new feature, if you look up here on the top right, you see these 4 squares or tiles. If you click this, you can change the way that the accounts appear. So once you do this, this is a different view, and you can always switch back. When you look at this, what looks like an Excel spreadsheet, you can click on that and toggle back to the view of the list. So whichever one you prefer, and that's a user preference. BankUnited Lynx is smart, I like to say. It'll remember how you like things, how you set things, and then the next time that you sign on, it will be the way that you left it. If for whatever reason you want to change it, you most certainly can do so by switching and clicking. One of the things that the tile view brings to you is the ability to do what I like to call a drag and drop transfer. So if I wanted to move money from one account to another, I can grab a tile and drop it onto another tile, and it pops up a quick initiate transfer. So then you can quickly move your funds by simply doing that drag and drop of the 2 tiles. BankUnited Lynx offers a lot of visual cues by colors. So this pretty light blue here or aqua is a successful color cue to you as an end user. When things fail or do not process, you'll get a red bar on the side. So that's how you can do a quick transfer, which is a new feature. Of course, we still support this, which probably looks familiar, the quick transfer over here. We offer that today. So there's 2 different ways that you can achieve that, as well as going through the transfer center. What I want to take a minute to focus on is what I like to call the power of the widget. This is something new in BankUnited Lynx where you get to design your own workspace. Today, what we offer, right, is very flat. You know, the old saying, you get what you get, you don't get upset. In BankUnited Lynx, it's very flexible. So that's the widget. So a widget equals any service that you might have with us, right? So what you can do is say, for example, check positive pay. If that's something you do every day when you first come into the office, you may choose to add that to your home page. You simply go to Add Widget and click, in this case, on Check Positive Pay, and you'll see that it's going to put that widget on my home page. In the same way that I just added a widget, you can remove a widget. So maybe the smart charts to me just take up real estate and I want to remove them. If you see this gradient line here going from the blue to the purple, the gear icon underneath it on the bottom right allows you to either remove or resize a widget. So in this case, I'm going to show you how to remove the widget. Simply by clicking that gear icon and hitting remove, I no longer have the smart charts on my page. The other option that you have is simply by clicking a gear, you can resize a widget. By doing that, a widget will consume half of a page. What that allows you to do, just like we have here at the bottom, is create two widgets side by side, right? So whatever way you set this page is the way that it'll be the next time you sign on. You always still have the flexibility to change it, right? So once you've set it, it's not permanent. It's really at your fingertips to rearrange or put it any way that you would like it. So this is what I like to call the power of the widget. All right, the next part that I'd like to show you is the hamburger menu, or the slide out sidebar menu here. You can see these three little white lines on the top left. This pops open, slides out your actual menu for the other services that you have with us. You can always go back to your home page. And then what you have here, so throughout the platform, throughout BankUnited Lynx, the plus sign will unfold additional data, whether that's additional menu items or additional data entry fields, right? And we'll see that later when we get into wires. So here, the plus is unfolding the submenu. Within payments and transfers, we have the transfer center. Today, the transfer center, we call it book transfer. So I'm sure you can get that connection between book transfer and transfer center. We're going to go in there in a minute. We have stop payments and the payment center, which is probably the largest language change, although all of the functionality that you have today is contained within the payment center. The payment center is where ACH and wires are contained within BankUnited Lynx. All right, we're going to start off in the transfer center. Within the transfer center, you see here where the green line is underneath the word transfers. These are in essence the submenus within the transfer center. So I have transfers, recurring instructions, which is really equal to a recurring book transfer templates, and the import manager. If you do this with us today, it's called book imports, you'll have import manager in the future with BankUnited. You'll see that each screen as we move through it, it's very similar, right? So here I have the plus sign in a circle with a hyperlink to initiate a transfer. And then over here on the right, these icons you'll see throughout the application. We will walk through it. So you have filters, which is the funnel. You have columns. You have the print icon. The arrow pointing down is export. And the padlock at the end. One thing you may notice is our account numbers are masked, but by clicking the padlock, you could expose the account number. So these icons you'll see often throughout the application today. When you click on initiate transfer, you're going to get the transfer screen to do the data entry here. You'll see anywhere that there's a list, you have the opportunity to filter. This blue box can reduce the list or help you locate a particular account. You can do that by keying either part of the account number or account name. And then same holds true on the from, the date, and then you can enter your dollar amount. The other opportunities you have here, you'll see this box next to add recurring instruction. If I click it, I could turn this into a recurring book transfer. The other opportunity you have is to do more than one transfer on a page. So if you had 3 transfers to do, or however many you have to do on a given day, you could open up and have all of the boxes on one page. If you added too many, you can use the X on the right to close out of that. You also have the option down here to click this off and save it as a template. We'll show you those in the individual submenus later on. For now, I'm going to go ahead and click submit and do my transfer for $1.50. Just like the quick transfer from the home page, you can see here the blue or aqua color is letting me know that my transfer was successful. The arrow here pointing to the right, if I click it, it'll show me the additional information about my transfer below. Note that today you have a separate, opportunity to do book transfers, and then you have a book report. Within BankUnited Lynx, anywhere that you can perform an action, your data will be right below. And this is where I'll start to demonstrate the flexibility of BankUnited Lynx and your data. You'll see here I have my book transfers below. The icons I was showing you earlier, such as filter, it pops open all the fields that you can filter upon, right? So you could do an amount and you could do greater than $1.60, that works, and hit apply. Well, I actually didn't have anything. So you can see I returned no results. Must have all low dollar transfers here. So we'll go with, how about we do amounts less than $1.60. I hit apply. You can see it return the results, but what I wanted to highlight to you is on my amount field, you can see that the funnel has the dark blue and the color is inverted here to let the user know that there's a filter on. And therefore, in order to remove the filter, I would pop open the filter and hit clear and apply, and I've removed the filter. The other thing that you can do is anywhere where there is data, the headers. So if you wanted to bring the amount forward, you can grab the word amount or the header of any column and you can rearrange your information, right? So if I wanted to have my from account and my to account side by side and pull the amount maybe right next to them, I can do that. You'll notice here, I now have the opportunity to click Save As, and I can give this view a name. When you hit save, you can see now on my dropdown, I'll always maintain the ones that came default out of the system, such as all transfers and requires my approval. But you can see my view was added. If this happens to be a view that you want every day to be your look and feel when you sign in, you can use the 3 little ellipses here and set that as the default. And then the next time I sign on, that will be there. You also have the actions where you can view the details of a transfer. So here I can see the details of that actual transfer and go back to my list. Columns is your opportunity to add or remove columns. So if you had particular things that you wanted, maybe you don't need your names and just want account numbers, you can change the columns as well. You can print the list of your transfers here, or you also have the opportunity anywhere that there's data to export them, and the export will go straight to a CSV file, which can open in Excel. So you can see here down in my tray, I have my transfers. And when I open this in Excel, I'm going to get all of the headings just like I got as I said it, and the information, right? One thing to note, I did not unmask the account numbers prior to my export, so they will come in the export masked. If I wanted them to go into my export unmasked, I would open it up with the padlock. Next is the recurring instruction. Just like when we did the transfers, you have the hyperlink here to create your recurring instruction. You need to give it a name, just like a regular transfer. Pick your from account, your to account, indicate a dollar amount. Start date, I'm going to start this on the 15th of November. I'm going to have it happen weekly on Wednesdays. And then down here, you have the option to either choose to have it never end or to end by a certain date. And the last option is when the schedule falls on a non-business day, would you like to complete the transfer 1 business day before or 1 business day after? And then you simply click create. I really like this. It gives you a pop-up summary of the transfer that you're establishing, and then you simply click continue. Again, you get the visual cue of the blue, open it up, gives you the exact details of the recurring instruction that you set up. And then you'll find that recurring instruction is within your data below here. You can view, you could modify it or delete it. Throughout BankUnited Lynx, anywhere that you see actions, the little 3 ellipses are going to give you the available actions for that item. It changes based off of what the actual item may be. So on the actual executed transfer, you may have noticed we only could view it. On the transfer that's a recurring instruction, I have more options. I could view it, I could modify it, or I could delete it. Transfer templates up next here behave very similar to creating that recurring instruction. Hyperlink, I'm going to set up my template here. From account to account, dollar amount, and add a memo, and then I simply hit submit. You can see then my template ends up below, and you can see I have an additional action available on a template. So view, modify, delete, and now I have the opportunity to initiate that transfer. So you can see that'll load my template here, and I simply hit submit. Oh, somehow I don't have a name on my template. So testing here. The last part of transfers is the import manager. So what that is if you have the ability to import a file of book transfers or transfers with us today, you'll have that opportunity within BankUnited Lynx. All of your services will move over, right? So if you have that file map set up with us today, your map will come over. And similar to that for transfer templates, if you have templates established with us today for transfers, the templates will move over. You will not have to recreate them. And the same holds true for recurring instructions. So throughout where you have those things established, they will all move over. And as far as printing that confirmation of the book transfer, you could print it from the list. I see that question in the queue. Or you could print it from the view mode. I'm going to go back to my hamburger menu. Next up is stop payments. And you'll see that this is very familiar, right? You have a hyperlink to add the stop request. The one difference to note on stop payments is today we have inquire on a check, stop the actual check, and then the stop payment report. At the point that you place a stop, we already inquire to see if the item has been stopped or previously paid, and we would send that message back to you. So we consolidated that to reduce the work or the amount of data entry that you as a user have to do. You simply add the stop, you'll indicate your check number, dollar amounts, optional reason, issue date, and payee. Just like you could do in book transfers, if you had more than one stop, you can add as many as you need on a page to do your data entry. And just back down to 1, and then you simply hit submit. You can see that my stop was accepted. And if you open this up, just like others, it gives you the detail. You can see now I'm starting to build to my stop report. And that the stop request was accepted. I see someone has a question in regards to ACH. This is a general overview, and then I'm going to do ACH coming up in the second half. So that stops. All your icons are available to you here as well. Okay, reporting. I'm going to skip the payment center because our focus on the ACH is coming up in the second half. In reporting, you'll have your balance and transaction reporting. Today, this is your balance reporting that you have with us. All accounts, balance history, account activity, and your ability to export. Again, you have the opportunity for the tile or the list view. Switch that. Balance history. You can look at your accounts. You can pick your accounts. You could select all and then simply hit done. Then I hit submit. You'll see it gives the available balance and the float across the 2 accounts I selected. Down below, by use of the plus sign, I can open up or look at the detail of the accounts that I selected. And then, of course, collapse that data if I so choose. Account activity is where I think you'll spend the majority of your time. This is a consolidation of all the various balance reporting that we have today out there, previous day, multi-day. You'll see all of those options underneath the calendar here in a moment. Select all accounts. The calendar, when I open this up, this is where those different frequencies exist, as well as your opportunity for a custom range. Same day reporting you'll get by drilling into your account details. I can show that in a moment. So for now, I'm going to do a month to date. I just want to look at my debits and I'm going to hit submit. You can see I have my data here returned to me. All of the icons here are the same ones that we went over on the earlier transfer center. So your ability to filter, select your columns, print, download. Down below is the important part, right? So favorite reports as you have them today will not carry forward because the new reporting is so much more flexible that those reports will need to be rebuilt one time only in the new structure. So you can take advantage of the new features and functionality. So if I want to save this report, I mark off to save the report, I give it a name and I click save. You can see down below here, I'm starting to build to my list, right, of reports. Underneath actions, you have the opportunity to run the report, delete it. So anytime you need to run a report, you can just go next to it, click run, and it's all saved there for you. And the thing that I think you'll totally enjoy is the ability to export that data when you run the report. The last part of the balance and transaction reporting is export. So underneath export is where you can do BAI, CSV, QuickBooks, or Quicken. By picking any one of these, you can then pick your accounts or more than one account, and then your date, and you simply hit export, and that file format will be created for you. You have the CSV here. I find there's a lot of flexibility now in account activity since you can export it to CSV, but you can achieve that in either place. The one thing of note is today on export, we have PDF for Lynx. To get PDF, you would do that through account activity and through the print icon. And then you have the ability to print out to a PDF to whoever your PDF reader is on your, or viewer is on your actual computer. So that's reports. Opening up the menu, we will have a session coming up on check positive pay. So underneath payment fraud control, if you use positive pay services with us today, this is where you will see that. I'm just going to toggle over here because that account, oops, oh, this account I have doesn't have any positive pay items for today. I was going to show you the summary and what that looks like real quick here because I got signed out. Bear with me. So when you get in to positive pay, you can see here I've checked positive pay exceptions to review. So it will show up as an action item for you. And then within that payment fraud control, I just want to show you what that summary looks like. When you have items, you can see it breaks out the items and then it's showing the user what they've already decisioned. If you have positive pay, I think not next week, the week after, we'll be doing a focus on that same structure as today that we're doing. General overview and then focus at the end. Okay. And also with positive pay down below here is where you would do your check issue management, whether you're issuing or voiding items or importing files. Note again that any of your maps will carry over for you for your files. Also on the menu here under other services, slightly different than today. Any of these items that you may have with BankUnited today are individual menu items on the drop down. So if you have e-statements, bill pay, remote deposit capture, remote official checks, ACH alerts, or if you use account management, which is our escrow platform, all of those services will be located underneath the menu of other services and then will be in the submenu there. None of these services are changing. So although the front end of the actual online banking is changing to this more modern digital look and feel, if you use or enjoy any of these services with us today, they will remain the same. Bill pay, if you have bills set up, The only thing to note on bill pay is the very first time you access it through BankUnited Lynx, you will need to key your user and your password information in there. So if you don't remember it, we may have to do a reset for you. Other than that, accessing all of these menu items will remain the same, just a little maybe different look when you come in, on the color palette, and then you would click log in, and it would prompt you to go out to, in this case, the e-statements. BankUnited Bridge, the white little bridge up here in the top corner, will always bring you back home. Something to note. So if you want to get back to your home page, you can always do so by clicking that bridge in the top left corner. Okay, next up on the menu, we're going to go back now to payments and transfers, and we're going to start to look at the payment center. So the payment center, like I highlighted earlier, contains some different elements, right? This today are individual menu items for wires and ACH. In BankUnited Lynx, it's all within one menu. And also, if you happen to have a loan with us that allows you to do pays or draws, that is also contained within the payment center. So anything in the payment space will be in the payment center. I also see that there was a question in the queue around loans for loan statements, which would be separate from this. We are actively working to get those loan statements online for you. You'll notice, actually, I don't have a good loan account on here today, but there is a better view of the loan detail within BankUnited Lynx as well. All right, so the menu here, up until now, every way that you initiated something, whether it was a stop payment or a transfer, was really exactly that same hyperlink with the little plus sign contained within a circle. Within Payment Center, since you can do multiple payment types within the center, you'll see that the look and feel becomes a little bit different. So I'll go through some of those changes so you can see how to get to your different transaction types, right? So what you'll notice is you have a drop-down menu, and you see the word initiate there. This is how you're going to get to the various payment types. So you can see up top, I have wires, and then you have ACH. And then if you had a loan that allowed pays or draws, that would be below. So we're going to start out, we're going to just show you the domestic wire first. So in a domestic wire, once I click my payment type, you can see the payment type itself is locked. And then you begin to enter your information. I won't dive too deep here, but so most of the fields from a naming perspective are the same as what you are used to today. The one thing to note here under payment details is it's moved more to bank code and name. Instead of today, it's routing, transit, and bank name, right? So it has the lookup where you can key part of a bank name and it will reduce the list for you. You can either do that or part of the routing number or bank code, and then you simply enter your amount. This is where the plus signs continue to open up the opportunity either for more information or more data entry. So as you open these up, you'll see this is where the OBI and the BBI information can be entered. One thing I'll show you here, I won't actually execute the wire. It gives us our total up top. Within BankUnited Lynx, if you're going to leave a page when you're in the middle of a transaction of any type or setting something up, such as a user, we warn you. This is our first time here today that you're seeing the red visual cue warning me that I'm doing something with, in essence, a negative effect, right? So I didn't finish the wire. I have two choices. I could leave the page or I could cancel and return and process the wire. When doing so, I'll get the review. Then I could submit, modify, or cancel. And then I can submit that. You can see my payment's been created and I have my detail below. So one thing to note on the information within payments, right? So since this has all the different payment types, the drop down, because in essence, this is now my payment report, not specifically an ACH report or a wires report, it's combined. On this arrow here, right out of the system, we have the different payment types segregated. So there's ACH payments, requires my approval, stale dated, and then wire payments. So if you start to filter on this list, we have the canned opportunity of going just to my ACH payments or say my wire payments. I also could look at things which I would think will be a popular view requiring my approval. Don't actually happen to have anything here at the moment. So you can see these. And then, so for example, if you always want to come in and have the things that require your approval be your default view, again, you can use the ellipses here to set this as the default. Now I'll go back to all payments. All right, so now I'm going to just highlight 2 more things in relation to wires, and then we'll go into ACH. Creating a template. Again, any templates you have set up will come over. The menu, you can see you have the ability to create your ACH or your wire templates here. And again, on your view, you can see default right out of the system. You get some opportunity to just look specifically at your ACH templates, wire templates, or templates that are requiring approval if you have approvals set up on templates. And then the last part as it relates to wires is if you do a wire import with us today, that would carry forward and you would get to the wire import here. And you can see this now is just like the other menus that we've been in so far today, where you have your plus sign and the hyperlink to import a wire file. And you would simply click this and then have the ability to pick your wire map and import a file. You can either drag the file or select the file by browsing out to your computer. All right, at this point, I'm going to go back to payments where we first started. And we're going to start looking at ACH. So I think I just answered that. There was a question in the queue around ACH and wire templates. Yes, they'll carry forward. So now when it comes to doing a constructed, here, that menu, you can use your drop down, give it a name. And then my ACH senders will carry forward, right? Whatever they are today will be here. So now you can see I got the visual cue here as it related to same day. So same day settlement available, additional fees may apply. So there's some enhanced messaging. You can note some of the things that are a little different when it comes to fields is us indicating things that are optional versus things that are required. Continue to enter the fields. Skip my account number. And then I can save and continue. It's going to bring me into showing me the payment. If I need to add additional receivers into this, I can do so here by the hyperlink, or I could upload transactions. I have an opportunity to look at my daily limits. But if I wanted to key another into there, we'll open up data entry. Click the add. You can see it continues to be there. And then at the bottom, I have my choices to send payment, save, delete, say I'm done. So I'm going to send the payment. I can click that. Again, just like in other parts of the application, I'll receive the blue visual cue. It lets me know that my success, that my payment's been initiated, and it provides a nice summary. And then also that information now is going to be in the report below. And then again, just like we had on other screens, right? You can filter that information. You could select your columns, you could print, you could choose to export the information. One thing that I hadn't done yet with any of these column headers, right? So for example, transaction date or initiator, you have the opportunity to click your headings and sort your columns, ascending or descending, by clicking and flipping the order of the column. If I wanted to get the most recent up top, you can see it's ready to process. And these statuses will provide the mapping for any changes of those statuses to you prior to your migration. So that information is there, and again, flexible to rearrange and export that out. Payment templates will be here. I'll dismiss my message. So as we've said, any of your templates will carry over. I can just look at my ACH templates, noting that the actions, right? So now, just like we saw throughout, right, the actions change based off of where I am. So my ability to view, initiate, modify, right, or copy or delete. So if I'm going to initiate the template, I'll open it up and you can see the information that's grayed out in regards to the template, summary, my payment details below, and then I'm going to go ahead and initiate and send that payment. Again, I get my successful message and the information there is contained as far as the detail of what I just executed. So that's really the templates. Of course, creating a new template is going to be on the drop down. So just like we were doing earlier, you'll have the different types. So wires versus doing ACH on the templates. Loans would not be here, even though contained within the payment center. So you're going to give it a unique template name. It checks to make sure that it's unique. My sender, the information, optional field. Invalid ABA because it got interrupted. And then in this case, I would just click save to create that template. The message that my template was created. And then I have the opportunity then to go straight to initiating that template, saving it, or saying that I'm done. So a little different twist there. Okay. I'm going to go back to payments here in the beginning. Now this is a split screen, something of note, right? So your ACH pass-through from a menu option is not one of these categories, which may be something to get used to, right? It's down here on the bottom half of the page. So this may be something that takes a minute to get used to locating. So you'll see here that that is now on the bottom of the page. Now, so once you get here, you can do the same thing that we were starting to show in the wires, where you can drag a file or you can click here. So you'll see when I select the file, this turns to a hyperlink. So I'll click the select file, go out to my desktop. Oh, add a file. Okay, and you can see now I have my file. I could choose to delete it if that's not the file that I want to upload. And then I click continue to process that file. You can see my file was uploaded successfully and unfold that. It now shows up down below in the list of all of my files. So if I wanted to view it, delete it, or submit it again, I could do so. Note that the failed, right? So if something has failed, this plus sign will unfold to show any of your failed uploads. And then you have on the ones that have processed, you have the status here on the right. If you want to add fields to that, you can, maybe if you want to know who it was uploaded by or an uploaded date, you could add those fields to the view here below. Just like we have done before, you'll have default views coming out of the system. So in this case, I have it right now on all files, but I could look at files requiring my approval if you're set for approvals on this. Any of your approval requirements that you have today with us will carry forward. So that's where you would import that file. Like I said, it may be a little bit thing to get used to on the view. So within payments, that will be below. Of course, you can add this widget to any screen if it makes it easier for you. You can do that there as well. Payments. Okay. So there's a question around two-factor authentication for ACH still. The one-time passcode has shifted a little bit, right? So for example, today, anytime you enter into that module, right? So that actual menu, you would be presented with one-time passcode. BankUnited Lynx, we will give you one-time passcode always at login if detecting a new device. Of course, you have the option to either register or have us remember your device or not. That's your personal choice. Obviously, if you're on personal computer versus a public computer. And then anytime that you first traverse and initiate a payment, you'll be presented with one-time passcode. The reason that it's the first time you traverse, so if you did a wire first for a day, you'd get a one-time payment, and then if you did an ACH first, it would be at the point of creating the ACH. And then of course, if you signed off and signed back on, you would go through all of that authentication again. Is the flexibility that you could in essence add payments if you wanted to right back on your home screen. You would have the opportunity to add, payment widget to your home screen. So it's not as controlled as you're going into, the actual menu item to get there. You could actually put it on a different page. So therefore, that's why it's that first time you initiate a payment, that's going to go external money movement. Okay. All right, so just make sure I did everything in payments, and then I have one other section to cover, and then we'll go into in-depth Q&A. All right, so I think we've gone through the vast majority of payments. The last bit to highlight today is your self-administration. So underneath your username is where you'll find things such as maintaining your password, your security questions, alerts, or your profile maintenance. And I won't go too deep. Changing password, obviously relatively easy. You'll enter the criteria there. Security questions is the same story. New feature is your opportunity to mask your answers. And then when you type, no one will see what you're typing. Alerts, as they tie into, right, you can set up your various alerts. If you have alerts with us today, they'll carry forward. Just like other screens, the hyperlink to add a new alert is here with the plus sign. So you have the different things. So for example, tying into our ACH theme, if I wanted to know when I had ACH approvals, I could give this a name and then how I would like that delivered to. So I'm going to have that go to my email and hit done. And I'm going to click save, right? So now I have a new alert for my ACH approvals. So anytime that there's anything for me to approve, that's my alert. At any time with alerts, you can view, modify, or delete them. So that's really the same as today. So like I said, they carry forward from the current system. Profile maintenance is the last bit underneath self-administration. Primary, and this ties into one-time passcode, right, is your security contact information or the way that you want your passcode delivered. It defaults initially to the email address on file, but if you want to have that by some other means, such as your cell, you can do that. And this is exactly as it is today, and all of those settings carry forward as well. But if you're adding it for the first time, you would do that and receive an activation code. And then the last part is user management. So user management, the look and feel is a little different. If you're an administrator within the system today, you'll be an administrator as you move to BankUnited Lynx. Just like the financial overview, user administration offers two views. It offers a tile view, which is here, and a list view, which is clicking that Excel-like spreadsheet. Both views really have all of the same features and functionality. It's just whatever you prefer as an individual. There's some new features around quick functionality, such as, for example, if a user is locked out, you can see here I'm now locked. I can simply unlock a user by a quick click. And just like I did that there on the tile view, if a user is locked, the padlock is over to the right. You can unlock a user simply by clicking to the left. And all of the same things exist. Modifying, delete, copy user, and reset password. Reset password is now a quick action where I can simply click reset password, and the password would go to the individual's email on file. So that's relatively quick to do now. And that same holds true from the list view over here, where you can go to the actions and do the same thing and reset someone's password. The last bit of this, and then we'll go into Q&A, is around adding a new user. So now within BankUnited Lynx, we'll step you through adding a user. There's less of, today we have the tabs where you have to go tab to tab. Here, what you have is the opportunity to be stepped through the process. Note that the user type defaults to user as opposed to administrator. And then you click next. And then you can see here, since I started from scratch, I pick the services the individual is to have, and then I choose the accounts to assign it to. I still always have the opportunity to then pick another user to copy from if I would like. And then here I'm going to give them a particular account. And this is the stepping through. So it goes next, gives you a review. So it really walks you through each component that you have to do to set a user up. And then you simply click save at the end. And again, you get the visual cue with the blue that you've successfully created that user. The alternate means of doing so is hitting the 3 ellipses here and choosing to copy. So if I copy a user, you can see it'll default the user type to the same of the user that I copied. And then the thing is on the permissions, it's going to copy exactly the permissions as the person that you copied them from. I'll just show you that. So you can see here, since I copied from a user, all of it is set. The accounts are set as they were set for that existing user. I, of course, can choose to add or remove. All of that is still flexible. And then it just walks you through the copy. That screen. And then, of course, you can always go back home. Oh, I forgot one part there. Sorry. Down below is your audit log. So in user management, so the reporting side of it is contained within the same page. So this audit report as it relates to the users is down below within user management. So that's available all contained within one page. So just something that you'll have to scroll down to achieve getting to, but it's there just the way it is today. And the last thing to note, anywhere that there's data, you have display options where you can have however many you would like per page, whether you want 5, 10, 25. That holds true anywhere that you have data, report information within BankUnited Lynx, and then you have the pages there based off of the number of display items that you have picked per page. So I'm going to go back home. See, there's a lot of questions here in the queue here. Let me see which ones I have yet to address. Okay, so there's, will the data already in the system for ACH migrate to the new platform, or do you need to input the info again? So anything from a data perspective, so the way to think of BankUnited Lynx is we're giving you a new front end, right? So it's a new URL. So note that we will redirect you from the old URL to the new URL upon sign in, but what that means is all of the back end data remains the same. So you will not have to re-enter information. That all moves because our back-end data or database is the same. So the things that you have set up there will all be there, as well as account history, ACH history, your templates. So all of that will remain there. So ACH pass-through be moved to the top. So that's a good question. So this is part of the flexibility of the widgets, right? So within Payment Center, the question is, can I get the ACH pass through to the top? And you most definitely can. I just have to do a good job of grabbing a hold of it. So with the widget, you can move the widget up. Just downsize my screen here a second. So you grab a hold of it. I never do a good job, but you can move a widget above another widget. I'm just not getting a good grab there, but you can move that on the top of your screen if that's how you like it. And it's just not doing a good job for me grabbing it. So you could put it above the question. So when you do that and rearrange things, you can pull them to the top. If you'd like. And the other thing, right, is if you use it all the time, you could add it to another screen, right? So actually, I'm sorry, I could do it that way too. Do a better job. It's not adding it to the top. But you could add it on another screen. So it's not doing a good job for me on my demo here, but you could also add it onto your home page. So that would be another way to get it to the top. We have to set up all users again. No, all of your users will come across when you migrate. We talked about ACH templates. They'll all come over for you. ACH data, two-factor. We already talked about one-time passcode. Our approval steps the same in ACH. So yes, so whatever approval requirements you have today, whether that's ACH or wires, all of those will carry forward as to what you have set today. Let's see what else I have in the queue here. When is the transition happening? So we're doing a wave migration throughout November, December, and January of 2022. So what you will receive, and you may have received some information already, is we will have sent you an email, right? It's very important that your email address on file with us is current, because all of our communications around BankUnited Lynx are going to come by way of email to your email address on file. So we're going to first send you in essence, hey, BankUnited Lynx is coming soon, which, like I said, most of you have probably received that already. Then 10 days before your migration wave, or the time that you'll migrate and get to enjoy BankUnited Lynx, we're going to send you another email with your specific migration date contained within it. And then, of course, on the date that you are going to get to use BankUnited Lynx, we're going to send you a welcome email. You'll also note that on the current platform, online treasury management, BankUnited Express, that you use with us, we have messaging up top letting you know of the transition that's coming. Contained in there is information that I think you'll find very helpful. We have built out an FAQ document, the questions that we think you're going to have. So some of the stuff that you guys have been asking today in the chat is in these FAQ docs, and those are all available on bankunited.com. And the link to that is in the bulletin message that is on the current platform. Also, similar to the training that I'm conducting today, weekly at 10 o'clock, and for the next few weeks, also at 2 o'clock for some of our West Coast clients. Anyone can attend though, you don't have to be from the West Coast. We have the training videos, like I said, they're out on the BankUnited YouTube channel, and the recordings from sessions like this will also be posted there. So that's some of the things in regards to the platform and the launch. Oh, international wire, sure, just like domestic wire, it's on that menu item, and I'll show that to you guys before we conclude. So initiate an international wire. You have the different options around your currency, US dollar, and the currencies that we support. So here's where you would do that international wire, just on that drop down within the payment center. And then the key here, that's my train of thought, is picking it from that list. You have your bank codes here. And then no different than before, expanding to enter your information and how you're going to send it, right? So euros, and then over here, it's going to show you that conversion, right? So that rate, that'll all be there. We are going to have more sessions coming up, and there's one that's split like today that focuses a little more in depth on the wires, where we go through executing different wires. So of course, you're welcome to attend that as well, or the recording. I hosted a few of those already, and those recordings are in process of being put out to the BankUnited YouTube channel. You can see here the amount. So you have the USD equivalent or the foreign amount. So that'll change here as well. So if you want to learn more about that, you can either look for the videos out there or join another session. Okay, so then the other thing is the email address that someone didn't directly receive the email. You just need to make sure that underneath your user, so in today's environment, it's called self-admin, right? Where underneath your user, you would look at your profile, and that's where you want to make sure that email is current. If you're uncertain, whoever's the admin for your company can also update that email address, right? So any of the admins at the corporation or company that you work for and make sure your email address on file is good. But it's the same webinar, so if you have the link for today, they are Wednesdays at 10 o'clock all the way through till middle of December. Let's see if I got everything within the chat. Transition, I don't see any new questions. I think I've got all the questions from the chat. So this session will be posted shortly out, like I said, on the BankUnited channel. I want to take a minute to thank everybody for coming today. I really appreciate your time. I hope you enjoyed getting to see BankUnited Lynx, and more sessions are coming. And then also the migration information will continue to come to your email box. So thank you again for coming today.